Hey guys, it's Ben here from the Strength Factory and welcome to Factory Knowledge, my weekly video series about all things action sports performance. Today the topic is going to be this: your bike computer or like watch or whatever you wear, the technology that helps you train and how to get the best out of it. But before that, I just wanted to give you a little heads up about another video series that I've been working on this year. It's called Fast at 40 and it's about my journey from start of January up to my 40th birthday, believe it or not. I know, I don't look it. Which is at the end of March, and it just follows my journey from testing at the start, through some training, through some ups and downs, like I had a bit of an accident last week, and going to retest on my 40th birthday and show you all, you know, what a bit of hard work and determination can do, and that you don't have to be just average dad bod as you hit your 40s. Anyway, this is my Garmin, okay? This is what I use for all of my on-bike training, okay? Whether it's on my road, gravel bike, mountain bike, e-bike, whatever it is. This is what I use when I'm properly training and I want to keep track of things like how much work I do and heart rate and things like that. Now, the thing is, all the time I see people, sometimes they're friends, sometimes they're random people, and they're like putting on their heart rate strap before a ride, and they've got a fancy computer, they've got a fancy watch, but they don't have a clue why they've got it. They've just got it because everyone else has got one and they feel like they should have one. And they get to the end of the ride and, oh, that's my average heart rate for the ride. Or, but so what? You know, so what? It doesn't matter, does it? The whole point is that it then lets you control your ride and then it informs your training and you can then monitor your progress. Just putting it on every time you ride and then not doing anything is pointless. Save your money, spend it on coaching, or come and see me. Anyway, if however you do want to do some structured training, then heart rate is a great place to start. But you need to make the most of your technology, okay, and the most of your computer or watch or whatever it is, or even app on your phone actually, whatever it is that you've got. So, the first thing I want to do today is I'm going to talk you through setting up your computer. Now I've got a Garmin here, which is about 4 or 5 years old now actually, but it's still a really good bit of kit and absolutely rock solid. Now, on all of these bits of kit, you can change the data fields in the settings. So whether it's Garmin, Sunto, Polar, it doesn't matter, you can do that on all of them these days. And that means that you can set them up to have the correct data fields for the training that you're doing. There's no point having like average power on there if you don't have a power meter, okay? So it takes some time to set up your computer so you can actually do smart and intelligently programmed and productive training. Here's how. Okay, so here it is. Here is my Garmin and how I have it set up and how I suggest you have it set up if you're going to train with heart rate. So first things first, you're going to need to set up 7 data fields. Okay, now on mine, you know, you can vary anywhere from 4 up to about 10 or something. It's tempting to think more is more, but actually, what's the point in loads of data that you're not actually going to use? All it does is confuse. So keep it simple. 7 data fields is fine, and you can even go less than that and trim it down if you like. So I'll talk you through them from the top. First of all, the top one there is time. So that's how long since I started the ride, okay? And at the moment that's 1:26. The second one there is the current lap, so how long this lap has been going for. Now obviously it's the first lap, so I've just started it, so that is the same as the time, but if I hit the lap button, it's going to log that lap, and then the current lap is now lap 2 and we're 6 seconds in. Okay, so distance. Now I haven't moved anywhere because I'm just outside the gym, so I've gone 6 meters apparently. Now again, this one is kind of optional, it doesn't really matter, but a lot of people like to keep track of how far they've ridden, and it's just quite fun to sort of rack that up. But remember, just because it's not displaying doesn't mean it's not recording. So if you want to trim your screen down even more, then get rid of the distance one, and then you can gather the distance data at the end of the ride. Now, coming down here, lap heart rate. That is the average heart rate for the lap, the current lap that you're on. So if I had my heart rate monitor on, then that would obviously be ticking away. At the start of the lap, that number's going to move around a lot because it's an average. But the longer I go, the longer the lap, the more that heart rate is going to settle down. Now, the reason we want that average heart rate for the lap is because if we're going to train with heart rate, you may be doing an interval of maybe 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, etc. And you are going to be controlling the intensity of that interval with your heart rate. And it's that average heart rate over the interval that's going to determine how much effort you've put in and the energy systems that you are using. And that's why your average heart rate for the lap is important. The other field here is the current heart rate, and that's obviously going to move around quite frequently as your heart rate goes up and down whilst you ride, and that's just going to help you to steer this one in the right direction. So if that's a bit lower than you're aiming for, then you need to be getting that one a bit higher than you're aiming for until we settle with the correct average heart rate in that field there. Number of laps here, that's obviously pretty self-explanatory. You're going to use the lap button at the bottom each time you do an interval, and that's going to make it easier for you to interpret your data, or easier for a coach like myself to interpret the data and make sure that you're doing the correct training in the correct manner, and that you're making the progress. And then finally, I like to have time of day on there because I don't usually wear a watch while I'm riding, and that means I get home in time and I don't get any grief off the wife. Happy days. So that's pretty simple. 7 data fields. You can trim it down to 6. You can trim down the time of day as well and trim it down to 5 instead. Especially those of you who maybe need reading glasses or something like that, you might be better off with less data fields that are easier to see whilst you're riding along. Remember that they may be easy to see now, but when your heart rate says 180, you need to be able to have a quick glance and quickly get the data you need on board. So more doesn't equal more. So that's how you're going to set up the data fields on your Garmin, Sunto, watch, computer, whatever it is, or on your phone if you mount that on your handlebars or something like that. Now, a note on features and connectivity and stuff like that, and this is a real pet hate of mine. It's 2020 and everyone is too busy and stressed out and permanently attached to their phones, okay? Looking at nonsense. Hopefully not like this, but you get the idea. Now, in my opinion, the last thing you want whilst you're out on a bike ride or a run or doing some sort of training is an email from your fucking boss, yeah? Or a notification that someone liked your picture on Instagram or Facebook. Seriously, get a life, okay? So many of these modern computers and watches, they boast about how connected they are and it syncs with your Apple phone or your iPhone or this, whatever. And I got a new watch a while ago, took it out for the first run, and halfway through it pinged at me because it had synced with my phone without me knowing, and I had an email. An email while I'm out training is literally the last thing I need, and it's the last thing you need. Don't kid yourself that you're that important that you actually need to see that crap while you're out there, because you really, really don't. You'll be lots happier, you'll be less stressed, you'll get more from your training, and if you disconnect from all that stuff while you're out on your bike, your run, your time outdoors, your time training should be an escape from all that stuff, that day-to-day grind that is literally wearing you down. Make yourself less available, make yourself less connected. Don't buy the one with all the fancy features that cost 500 quid, because trust me, 99% of you don't need it, you just want it, and I don't know why. So buy the cheaper one, buy the simpler one, buy the second-hand one, and if you really have got like 500 quid to spend on a computer, then spend the extra 200 or 300 quid on actually becoming a better rider by getting some skills coaching, some fitness coaching, or on healthier food, or some sports massage or something like that. And don't get suckered in to all the sales nonsense from these companies telling you that you need to be more connected. Right, rant over. So hopefully that's all nice and clear. I'll take a deep breath. The reason I made this is due to feedback from people on my complete mountain bike program, where they just wanted a bit of guidance with setting their computers up, and I'm always trying to improve that program for them, and so that's why I'm making this video. So all the people on there are going to get this sent to them, and obviously you guys are watching it now for free. But if you are interested, then I'll pop a link in the bio for the Complete Mountain Bike and Complete Motocross Programme, which is a monthly subscription-based program that literally covers everything you need to ride and race faster, ride further, have more fun on your bike, and just feel pretty much awesome. So if you thought this was interesting, if you think there's a friend who needs to hear this, who's always on their Apple Watch on a ride, checking messages and emails, or who wears a heart rate monitor but literally doesn't have a clue why, then share this video, hit subscribe, and